Hello and welcome to Real Life Alexa channel. Alexa, this is Real Life, and today I'm going to talk about uh, viruses and bacteria. Coming at you straight from real life because I am recovering chest infection, um, and yeah, my nose is so stuffy and itchy, but I'm here looking, well, this is life. This is what happens. So, um, what are these things? What is the difference? And why does an antibiotic work against a bacterial infection and not a viral infection? So, bacteria, look, this stuff goes back many years to when, somewhere around age 11, 12, 13 is when, you at least I remember being introduced to this stuff in biology. Um, Bacteria is a celled organism, so it is a cell, has a cell wall, it has contents within that cell that, similar to our cells, have things in DNA and uh, like a nucleus or something. I don't know. Um, There's good bacteria, there's bad bacteria, but I suppose good and bad are relative to your point of view, because from a bad bacteria's point of view, they're probably like, we're cool and this is our life and we have to do it to survive. And we have bacteria on our skin, throughout our body. If you've heard of prebiotics, probiotics, uh, that is stuff that can help the healthy bacteria within your gut. So some bacteria within and on our bodies, I think the relationship is termed symbiotic because there's a benefit to both us and the bacteria. So it's sort of like hand in hand helping each other. And then there's bacteria that, like, once it grows, any bacteria that grows out of control, even if it's normally good, can end up being detrimental. But there's some bacteria that just, once it's not good, we want to stay away from it. So antibiotics work by breaking the cell wall of the bacteria. So this is important because what a virus is, a virus is not contained within a cell of its own the way bacteria is. So they have some sort of protein coating, I guess, and it's more like um, it's more like the contents of a cell without a cell wall. And I'm probably explaining this very poorly. But they will enter the cells of a host organism and replicate within those cells, destroying the original contents of the cell in the process. And that's where um, it causes a lot of issues. So an antibiotic that kills the cell wall or destroys the cell wall of bacteria, because there's no cell wall on the virus, it's not going to be able to work for that. So um, I just had a whole lot of sort of feelings the past few days. I went to the doctor because I was coughing a lot. I knew, your body, and when something goes from like, this could probably just be allergies and it'll be gone in a day or two, when it rains, all of the dust and stuff comes down from the upper atmosphere, and I'm always more itchy, and I'm like, yeah, no, fine, I'll be fine in a day or two. And then you'll stop and you'll be like coughing, and like, that's not allergies, that's something else. And um yeah, it was Sunday, and I knew, like, there was something wrong. um it wasn't just being tired from traveling and coming back to my house with my cats after being away. Tree pollen is full on at this point where I live. When I went to the doctors, I used my windshield wipers, and I didn't pull it full. I was trying to wash the windshield with the washer fluid, and I didn't get the washer fluid, so they moved, and just this yellow coating just sort of like swooshed off the windshield on that first swipe, and it was like gross. Definitely doesn't help for that to be the same time as being sick. But yourself, you have to go, and you have to, it's important that your doctor does test for what's wrong, because the symptoms of, for example, there's 3 really common things right now. There's the bacterial infection that I have, thankfully, can use medicine for. There's influenza that's going around, and then there's also COVID for variation. So to get tested to know which medicine is going to help, I think within just my lifetime, there are a lot of antiviral drugs at this point. I mean, I remember as a child, HIV was this completely untreatable thing, this virus, and we couldn't treat it. There was nothing to treat viruses. And now there are people who are essentially virus free because of antiviral drugs. And it's absolutely astonishing to me that this knowledge is being worked out by just other people who have that capacity and desire to be in a lab and do the tests and figure these things out. There's so much that we as humans don't know, but that knowledge is there to find, and it's trial and error. And not everything's going to go right, and sometimes it'll look promising for a while before the other shoe drops. I'm just in awe of the people who have the capacity to do that and work on those things. There are people who dedicate their whole lives to finding one medicine that can help a specific human ailment. And there's got to be a lot of setbacks along the way if that's, if you're finding one. And those are the hardest problems that they're working on, right? So it's not easy problems that they're working on. And so a lot of respect to the people who have dedicated their lives to the science, to the pursuit of figuring things out. I know I'm really grateful to be able to go to the doctor and get some medicine and be feeling better within 2 days. Obviously, bacteria is different from virus, but someone still had to figure out what medicines would help, what combination is the best, so on and so forth. So definitely coming at you from some real life perspective today. It does force me to think about protecting myself, any upcoming travel that I have, protecting others. I worry about people who have fragile immune systems, immunocompromised. If you haven't had someone in your family or your friend group who was or is immunocompromised, it's not going to be something you probably think about. I know that I have learned this over the past basically decade, a little less than a decade of seeing it firsthand. And even if you don't see it firsthand, you can still listen to people who do have it firsthand. And the stories are out there all over the place. And it could be someone you actually work with who just doesn't want to tell you what they have. I mean, apparently the thing my cat has with ulcers, this is something that, it's not super common, but it's common enough that it's well known about with vets. And until my cat had it, like, never heard of it. I've had cats for basically most of my life. And I'd never heard of it because it hadn't happened to one of my cats before. And so now when I talk about it, I hope that if someone else has noticed that their cat has an issue, they can kind of look up. The bone spicules thing is a completely different thing. That can happen apparently to humans too. So I do have to double check to see whether the one I had found a couple of weeks ago has fallen out. I swear it wasn't there for a while, so I do think it has made its way up to out of the skin. He was just running around like a crazy boy, and I don't know if this. There he goes again, thumping around. He's jumping up on. Oh, it's both of them. Oh, they're fighting now. So if you hear them, please ignore. They're having fun. They're playing. They like to play chase, running around from one side to the other, jumping up to the top of the cat tree that's about 5 feet tall, and then jumping from the top to the floor to go thunk, because that's really pleasant for the people that live below me when my cats do that. Obviously, it's okay. They're cats. They don't know any better. But learning about things and being understanding when other people tell you their situation, I have definitely learned a lot, and being able to make space to, how do I want to say it? What am I trying to say here? The past 10 years, I have grown a lot, and I have learned a lot, and the learning is the key to the growing. But making a space where I don't have to have experienced what someone else is telling me that has happened to them, and using my imagination to sort of understand their point of view, and to basically just say, I haven't experienced that, but I hold space for your truth. It's been very powerful. So a lot of deep thoughts, trying to take my own advice, be kind to myself, not push myself too much, as I did when I was younger, and to really just be. So let's, if you made it this far, thank you. I know it was a very, very basic biology lesson. I think it's biology for bacteria and viruses. But this is real life. It's what I've been through. We made it this far. Thank you very much. Drop a like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment, and let's all hopefully be just a little more kind to ourselves and others. Definitely to ourselves, and give ourselves that grace when we need it. All right.